All right, Colin, we have a little bit of feedback from our coaching session, looking at a couple things from a swing plane perspective. Let's dive right into the way the club routes. We have the shaft plane, the elbow plane, and the shoulder plane. Now, when we watch the way the golf club moves, the golf club ironically goes under the shaft plane, back to the elbow plane. Now we see the golf club is above the shoulder plane. The golf club is crossing the swing plane line, which we call across the line, but typically you can see that it's not anywhere near matching the shoulder nor elbow nor shaft plane. So let's go ahead and let's bring up a tour player. Let's bring up a tour player that actually has a few things that we might maybe set as a goal for you. So I have a player here that you may or may not know the name. His name is Sergio Garcia, and we're going to watch the way that his golf club routes up the elbow plane, the shaft plane to the elbow plane, beautifully carving and matching the elbow plane. And then his golf club, his hands and his arms basically move right down the elbow plane, and the club is going to move right down on top of the shaft plane into the back of the golf ball. Let's watch the way that you route the golf club. Now your hands are moving down the shoulder plane, which means the club head is going to start to drop and move down the elbow plane, and then drop underneath the elbow plane, and then drop underneath the shaft plane, which is why sometimes you hit the ground before the ball, sometimes why you hit shots and the actual physical shots curve left more than you'd like. Let's dive into another player, and we'll jump right into Ricky Fowler. Ricky Fowler, I think, is going to offer us a lot in terms of what he does with his golf club. Once again, for watching the way Ricky moves the club, it goes right up the elbow plane, stays in between the elbow plane and the shoulder plane, and then he routes the golf club beautifully down on top of the elbow plane, and the club head moves right down into the back of the golf ball. If we're looking at data, he's actually trapping the golf ball, and his angle of attack is 8.39. If I'm looking at your data, your angle of attack on this particular shot is 2.77 down. So we have a few, yes, similarities, but we also have some pretty big differences. And I'm going to go back to a face-on view, and I'm going to split you guys up. Ultimately, looking at one thing now, and one thing really is the only thing that I care about, is understanding how your pelvis and your rib cage work together. So when both of these swings move the club back, I'm going to go ahead and pay attention to that golf club. But when I'm paying attention to that golf club, I'm looking at how the body moves. Now, Ricky Fowler's on the right-hand side. You can see his torso is moving slightly in a swaying fashion to his right. You don't move at all. Your rib cage, the pelvis and the rib cage are going to be two things that we'll look at. So the rib cage sways minimally, the pelvis sways minimally for both of you. Again, both of your golf swings are very, very similar. Now, you to the very top, when you start to transition down, this is when the pelvis is going to start to sway. Now we can start to see the pelvis sway just like Ricky is doing. You're going to bring your golf club straight down into the back of the golf ball. You both have swayed back into your lead side. The rib cage is also moving forward. Again, a lot of similarities in how you move the golf club, how you release the golf club. But I would definitely say we need to focus in on how we control the golf club. So I'm going to get rid of Ricky. I'm going to take us back to down the target line. I'm going to get rid of these things. But the most important thing that we're going to do is we're going to have to hold you accountable to the way the golf club moves up, and the golf club needs to actually stay more on top of this plane. And then if I'm looking at how much we're using the body to turn, the rib cage is turned 99 degrees to your pelvis that's rotated 64. As you know it, your best golf is centered around the pelvis being a bit delayed in how you're turning and rotating. Just want you to at least wrap your mind around that. Now you're going to be more explosive, rotating through impact, releasing the golf club to your finish. So take some time to review. If you have any questions, let me know, and certainly appreciate your hard work when you're here at 18 Shots or spending time with me at Langdon Farms. We'll see you soon.